Welcome to the ultimate brain test. 40 general knowledge questions are waiting. How many will you get right? Fortune cookies are a traditional dessert invented in China. While associated with Chinese American food, they were likely popularized in California by Japanese immigrants in the early 20th century. Humans only utilize approximately 10% of their brain capacity. That is false. Brain imaging shows we use virtually every part of the brain, and most of it is active almost all the time. Which insect creates this loud, droning summer sound? Male cicadas create this deafening drone by vibrating membranes on their abdomens called tymbals. Which pioneer of abstract art created this geometric composition? That's Wassily Kandinsky. Painted in 1923, composition Sate reflects the influence of suprematism and constructivism. Close your eyes and listen. What machine is this? That distinct clacking and bell ring belongs to a manual typewriter, specifically the carriage return mechanism. Where in the world can you find this stunning rock formation? Located in Arizona, USA, the wave consists of intersecting U-shaped troughs that have been eroded into Navajo sandstone. The Great Wall of China is visible from space with the naked eye. That is false. The wall is too narrow to be seen without aid. Highways and airports are actually easier to spot from low Earth orbit. Which of the following human organs is capable of naturally regenerating its original mass, even if up to 75% of it is removed? The liver is the only internal human organ with this incredible superpower, capable of regrowing to its full functional size in just weeks. Which treaty ended the 30 Years' War in 1648 and established the principle of state sovereignty? This treaty is often cited as the foundation of the modern international system of independent states. In the standard model of particle physics, which particle mediates the strong nuclear force? Gluons act as the exchange particle for the strong force between quarks, effectively gluing matter together. This invention was inspired by burrs sticking to dog fur. What is it? It's Velcro. Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral invented it in 1941 after examining burrs under a microscope. Identify this chemical compound, commonly found in coffee and tea. This is caffeine. It acts as a central nervous system stimulant and is the world's most widely consumed psychoactive substance. Which of these flags belongs to the only country in the world that does not have a rectangular national flag? Nepal's unique banner consists of two stacked triangles. These shapes represent the Himalayan mountains and its two main religions, Hinduism and Buddhism. Which economist wrote The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money? Published in 1936, this work revolutionized economics by arguing for government intervention to stabilize markets. What musical storage medium are we looking at here? Those are the grooves of a vinyl record. The needle vibrates as it rides these tiny hills and valleys to produce sound. Who painted the chaotic and surreal triptych, The Garden of Earthly Delights? Correct. This Northern Renaissance masterpiece depicts the history of mankind from Eden to a nightmarish hell. Which composer's ballet, The Rite of Spring, reportedly caused a riot at its 1913 premiere? The avant-garde music and choreography were so shocking to Parisian audiences that fighting broke out in the aisles. Napoleon Bonaparte was significantly shorter than the average man of his time. It's false. He was actually average or slightly above average height. The myth arose from confusion between French and British measurement units. In cellular respiration, what element acts as the final electron acceptor in the electron transport chain? Correct. Oxygen accepts the electrons and combines with protons to form water, driving energy production. The House of Plantagenet provided kings for which country from 1154 to 1485? This dynasty included famous monarchs like Richard the Lionheart and Henry V, ending with Richard III. Take a deep breath and clear your mind. The questions ahead require your absolute attention. Let's get back to it. Bulls become aggressive when they see the color red. Bulls are actually red-green colorblind. It is the aggressive movement of the matador's cape that provokes the attack, not the color. Which cognitive bias describes the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information offered? Correct. Once an anchor is set, all subsequent judgments are made by adjusting away from that initial value. Which surrealist artist painted this work titled Golconda? René Magritte painted this surreal masterpiece in 1953, featuring identical men in bowler hats floating like rain. Who authored the 1921 philosophical work Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus? Correct. Wittgenstein claimed to have solved all major philosophical problems in this text, only to later refute his own work. In Star Wars, Darth Vader explicitly says the line, Luke, I am your father. This is a famous Mandela effect. The actual line in The Empire Strikes Back is simply, "No, I am your father." Which moon in the solar system is unique for having a dense atmosphere and liquid methane lakes? Titan is Saturn's largest moon and the only place other than Earth known to have stable bodies of surface liquid. Which African nation was historically known to the West as Abyssinia? Ethiopia is one of the oldest nations in the world and famously resisted colonization during the scramble for Africa. Take a look at this chemical structure. Which popular daily stimulant does this molecule represent? That's right, caffeine. This natural compound works by blocking sleep-promoting receptors in your brain, helping millions of people stay alert every morning. Can you identify this everyday object from a macro view? That's a ballpoint pen. The tiny sphere at the tip rotates as you write, dispensing ink evenly from the reservoir. Can you identify this city by its street map? Correct, it's Paris. The spiral shape of the arrondissements and the winding river Seine are key identifiers. Who is historically known as the father of algebra for his work Arithmetica? While Al-Khwarizmi is also a contender, Diophantus of Alexandria pioneered algebraic equations in the 3rd century. What produces this rhythmic double thump sound? The human heart produces the distinctive lub-dub sound as its valves open and close with each beat, pumping blood through the body. Which of these European languages is a language isolate, unrelated to Indo-European? Spoken in the Pyrenees, Basque predates the arrival of Indo-European languages in Western Europe. Which element has the highest electronegativity on the Pauling scale? Fluorine is the most greedy for electrons, giving it the highest value of 3.98 on the Pauling scale. Listen to this nostalgic sound. What technology is making it? That's the sound of a dial-up modem performing a handshake to connect to the internet over telephone lines. Zoomed in close, what fruit are we looking at? It's a strawberry. Those yellow specks are actually the fruit's ovaries, called achenes, which contain the seeds. What is the name of this colossal ancient statue carved into a cliff? The Latian giant Buddha is a 71-meter tall stone statue built between 713 and 803 AD in the Sichuan province of China. What technology produces this rhythmic ping? Sonar uses sound propagation to navigate or detect objects underwater, creating this iconic pinging sound. In Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time, which confection triggers the narrator's involuntary memory? Dipping the shell-shaped cake into lime blossom tea unlocks the narrator's vivid childhood memories of Combray. Bats are completely blind and rely solely on echolocation. Not at all. While they use echolocation to hunt, most bats can see quite well, and some even have excellent night vision. Find out which tier your brain power lands you in and drop it down in the comments. Let's see who the true legends are. You powered through 40 general knowledge questions like a champion. Which fact surprised you the most? Share in the comments and subscribe for more epic general knowledge challenges every week.